So, I was just starting to talk about cognitive ability in the last video, and I realized that it was up to like 24 minutes. So, a whole lot of talking about something or nothing. Some people might think it's nothing, some people might find it as something. Some people could probably get some good value out of it. Some people might not be what they're looking for. I don't know. But God's given me a lot of gifts. He's given me the gift of healing. Definitely with, it's like I want to say that I used to tell people that I got people skills from my mom. My mom was so good with people skills. And then, like, my biological father, I got mechanical skills from him. My stepfather, I got mechanical and business and writing skills and stuff like that. My stepmom, I probably got people skills from her too. She was good people too. She was just more of a gentle soul. So was my mom. But my stepmom was a little more laid back and just kind of flowing through life. I don't know, but she was a good lady. My mom, my biological mom, on the other hand, yeah, she just had like really good intuition and stuff. But so I used to say that's where I get a lot of these skills from, but I know it was God. God designed it all. He's given me some amazing skills, and I thank him, but sometimes it's almost like a curse. It ain't, though. I'm very thankful for it. But when I look at situations or read people, especially after watching this and researching different videos about different cognitive abilities and stuff, and it made a lot more sense to how my brain works, because I've got photographic memory, but it's not like 100% photographic. Like some people you could give them a date and a time or something, and they can tell you what they were wearing, what they had for lunch that day, breakfast, dinner. They can tell you about their whole day. They can tell you about the colors other people were wearing, things they seen, all this other stuff. I don't have it that detailed. I do, but I don't. I can't just do it by you telling me a date or something like that. But things in my life, I remember back to when I was a baby. Not everything, and sometimes some stuff I forgot about comes back to me, But and it's not just in my head either. I mean, I've talked about it in my last few videos about my mom and my brother when I was younger. I don't know if I was 6, 7 or what it was, but I was talking about our very first house when I was a baby, and they're telling me I couldn't remember it because I was the baby then. I couldn't remember that. I was telling them I did, and they said, no, you just heard family talking or something. That's why you remember some of this stuff. I said, no, it isn't. I remember it. And I started getting emotional because they didn't believe me. So I took a pencil and paper, and I sketched out a whole blueprint of that house that we lived in when I was a baby. And I made it to scale pretty accurate. I bet you if you were to scale it down as a blueprint, I bet you I might have been right on. I don't know. It was pretty dang accurate, right down to scale. Where the doors were, where the windows were. I mean, I didn't do too many windows, but I told them verbally where all the windows were in each room. But I sketched out the whole floor plan, and the inside walls, doors, pass-throughs, all that kind of stuff, and the hallway where mom, bedroom where me and my brothers, and the bathroom, all that kind of stuff, and the way everything was. And they were just both shocked. They were like, "That's exactly how it was." I said, "Yeah, that's what I tried telling you. I know. I remember." When I was a baby, I seen my mom put her foot underneath the crib side rail to let the side rail down to let me out as a baby. I remember that very well too. So at night, when I wanted to get out of my crib, I started sticking my legs through the spokes of the crib rail and feeling with my feet to where that rail was. And then I'd kick on it. I didn't realize that it had like a latch thing like that. I didn't realize that if you pulled it up, it would kick away easier at first. So when I finally kicked it and it dropped, it scared me, and it screeched my skin, like when you slid across the floor in your skin, you get that little kind of did that on my legs. But then I was like, And because it came down so quick and made a bump bang noise in the night, I thought my brother might wake up or someone might hear me. Nobody heard me. So then I crawled out and did my journeying around the house and stuff, and then I didn't want to get caught. I was just a little baby. So when I got back into the crib, trying to get that railing up, that side rail was so hard. Because it would, every time I pull it up, it'd go down, pull it up, it'd go down. So then I'd like pull it up, and I tried reversing it from what I did. So I tried sitting down and putting my legs through. And then when I'd pull it up, I'd try to pull it as high as I could get it. And then I'd like squeeze it with my legs to try to hold on to it. And then I'd try to reach down with my hands because I was little, I couldn't get it all the way up. So I had to kind of scooch it up little by little like that. Once I got it high enough, I couldn't get it to go past that latch, because I wasn't strong enough. I kept trying, and it wouldn't latch. And I can't remember if I ended up, while I was pulling up on it, pushed with my feet back, pushing my feet back to try to push it back out of the way. I figured it out, though, eventually. I figured out how to do it and got it down pretty good. And then it became a routine for me every now and then. If I wanted to get out of my crib, I'd sneak out. Oh, man, oh, man. Yeah. I told my parents one time that the way my brain works, how I see so many different things. My karate master understood it. He started explaining it to me one day before I told him how I felt about stuff. And he started explaining stuff to me and how it makes a person feel alone even when you're in a room full of people. And it does, when you get so much knowledge and you know so many different things, not just trivial knowledge or history or stuff like that, but then, whether it's mechanical knowledge, psychological knowledge, people, mannerisms, just so many different things. And when you have all this, as I grew up, I just figured everybody knew how to do this stuff, And the more and more I started realizing that people didn't know how to do all these different things or see things the way I see it. Well, then I'd be in a room, even when I was younger and partying with friends and stuff, I'd feel alone because they're all being silly, stupid and stuff, and I see the whole world, how it's working and stuff, and they were oblivious, so it made me feel alone, kind of. So my karate master understood that because he started explaining it to me one day, and it actually kind of made me happy. That's probably why we got along so good. We both understood each other. I don't run into too many people that see all the different things I'm able to see or whatever. And I don't mean to sound like I'm, like, ooh, I know so much. I don't mean it like that. But I do. The Lord's gifted me with a lot of stuff. And he gifted me with meeting my karate master, too, which was wonderful because then I got to learn more stuff. But overall, I'm pretty good at reading people in situations. I was telling somebody one time, it's kind of like chess. I got really good at playing chess. My biological father started teaching me chess, and I got good at it. It took me a while to get to his level. I started out just chasing his queen all the time because that was the most powerful piece that I was trying to get his queen. And he'd still checkmate me and stuff, but I started learning how to set traps to get his queen. And then it evolved from there, and then eventually I got to where he couldn't beat me no more. And got really good strategy going. Then I got into four-way chess, a quadrular game. That was really cool. It was a fun game to play, too. A couple of my buddies and my dad did bring the board over, and my dad liked playing that game because it was a new way to play chess. He really was fascinated with that game because it's chess, but it had a different piece that was a prince that when it could get crowned to and get like the queen. But the thing is, when you got four people playing on this board, it was like a normal chessboard in the middle, but off of the flat sides, it stagger stepped in, and that's where your pieces would be. But then, I move, then he moves, and that person moves, then this person moves. and then it's my turn again. So it's a clockwise pattern. So you could be trying to set something up, but it ain't like playing against one person, because there's two other people that get moves in between there, so it really brought a whole different dimension of strategy into it. Then I got into three-dimensional chess, where you got 3 different levels, and in three-dimensional chess you can travel 1 or 2 levels at a time, but you can't travel through a piece. If there's a piece on the board above you or below you or whatever, you can't go through it, and you can't travel and attack. You can drop down into a spot, and I can't remember now, it's been so long since I played it. I think you can travel and move. I'm trying to think how that goes. You can't move and travel, but you can drop down and move, if I remember correctly, but you couldn't drop down and attack. Or maybe not. Maybe you could just drop a level at a time. I can't remember now. But I feel there was you could drop down and move, but you couldn't drop down and attack. Now you could drop down into a position where that might put him in check by dropping down, but you couldn't drop down. That's why you couldn't drop down and attack. But yeah, I was really good at that too. That was very stimulating. I haven't played chess in a long time. I wish I didn't have to worry about finances, where I could do stuff like that. I'd like to be able to just work out at the gym, or I'd like to have my own gym again. When I had my own garage gym set up, man, I was in such great shape. Even though I'm 57, I think I could do it again. If I could have a home base with all my own setup again. Get me a total gym. Total gym, maybe some free weights. Total gym though, for sure. Maybe some free weights and dumbbells, and then heavy bag and a speed bag. Would be a good start. Take me a little bit to get the speed bag rocking like I used to. I used to be able to make that thing dance. And I could really rock the snot out of a heavy bag. Really learned how to throw some powerful stuff. Oh man, I'm all over the map with this one, huh? Where are we at here? 12 minutes. Well. Oh, I gotta find energy. I probably ain't gonna do it yet tonight either, but we got more warm days coming again. I haven't got the Max Air fan fixed. I got my freezer fixed now. My little chest cooler freezer. It's a dual zone, and it had a problem where one of the zones went out because it's got a divider in it. When you pull the divider out, then it's just a single unit, all refrigerator, all freezer. But when you put the divider in, it's got a dual zone that you can separately control, and to make one a fridge, one a freezer, or vice versa. And for the longest time, it's been a couple of years now, I've only had the one zone. The other zone was not registering, and the thing's brand new. I've only used it a couple of times, and I was stressed out on it. And it happened after I uploaded or updated the Bluetooth app. The one zone quit, and it happened. And also, I had moved the divider thing that I'd never moved before, so I didn't know if I made a mistake or something. I never figured it out. Now, yesterday I spent the day tinkering and researching and all this stuff, and then I found through instructions how to do a force start on the control panel to force start the other zone. Is what ended up working, and that got it going, and now I got my dual zones back, so that's really cool. Now it's working. Yeah, I'm liking it. So I got frozen bottles of water in there. The other, I got one side, frozen freezer side, I got it set at like 7 degrees right now. We'll go down to 4 below, but I got it set at 7. And I think it's 4 below. Or maybe it's just 4 degrees. I think it's 4 below. And I got it set at 7 degrees, and then got mainly bottled water in there freezing, or froze. And then the other side wasn't working at all, so everything was just kind of like staying like Luke cool water in there. And well, now that I got the other side going, the other side's getting cold and working like it should. So I had some other stuff in there with bottled water. So it was kind of like kept stuff like a fridge that wasn't working as good as it should have. But now that I got it working, yeah, it's definitely colder on the other side. And I didn't check the water yet, but I got it set at like 29 degrees or something like that. That way, down low, that should be enough to freeze the bottled water on that side. And the upper part, when I'm sitting stuff up top, it'd be like, when you go camping and put stuff in a cooler with ice, that way it'll keep it colder, and then when you open it, since it's chest freezer kind of a deal, the cold air ain't dumping out like when you open a fridge, because heat rises, cold air drops. So when you open a sideways one, you lose so much energy. At least with something like this, when you lift the top, the cold air kind of stays in there. You still get the air current change, and it still makes it kick back on, but if this thing was super well insulated, it'd work even better. But I got it cheap. It's a Bodega, which is like probably made in China or something. I don't know. I got it on sale for $300 about 6 years ago. I haven't used it much, and I'm glad I have it because it's coming in handy now. But at least with that running now, when it gets really hot, now that I've got it working good and it's freezing water, at least when it gets really hot, I can pull out frozen bottles of water. They're like 16-ounce bottles or whatever, and I can put them on my chest or in between my body, under each arm, and it helps cool me down, so I don't overheat or get heat stroke or something. It cools your blood flow. Just another survival thing in this weird crap that I'm going through. And it's 11:24. I got another friend of mine I'm supposed to call back yet tonight. One of them I was talking about earlier that's been fighting health issues and stuff, and he texted me again at 9:10, telling me to call him back when I get a chance. I'll probably call him in a while here. I don't think I have any other messages from people right now. There's a lot of gum flapping to a few people. And I hope that they're doing better. Some of my friends that call for help and stuff, they'll share with me the things they're stressing out about and just ask me if I'll say prayers for them, and that really helps them feel better, so like my one friend, she told me tonight that stuff that she's stressed out about, and she asked me if I was feeling up to it or not, if I'd be able to say a prayer for her. I said, of course. I said, I'll always say a prayer for you, and even if I'm feeling crappy, I'll say a prayer for you, I mean, that'd be pretty rotten to not, somebody asked you to say a prayer for them and you didn't say a prayer for them. I mean, you'd have to be in pretty rough shape, man. Now, I guess if I had, been cliff climbing or something like I used to do, I used to freehand cliff climb. Boy, was I could do the door frames to work out to be in good shape. The little edge of door frames, I could, just off the tip of my fingers, I'd do pull-ups off the edges of door frames. I was in good shape then, man. I couldn't do that now, no way. I weigh too much. I wouldn't be able to pull myself up. Not only that, I'd weigh too much. I'd probably rip the door frame down. Oh, that'd be embarrassing. So, what was I saying now? I got sidetracked with that cliff climbing stuff. Well, I guess I lost my train of thought there. Oh, about saying a prayer, that's what it was. So, I guess if I fell off a cliff or something, or was on my deathbed, I guess then I can see I wouldn't be able to say a prayer for somebody, maybe, if I was about to die or something, but it's hard for me to imagine being in any type of situation where I wouldn't be able to at least say a quick prayer for somebody, because I'll tell you right now, you don't have to pray any special way, it's not like you gotta put on a special garment and burn incense or something and do light candles and all that kind of stuff. You can talk to God anytime you want. I talk to him while I'm making videos. Sometimes I sidetrack and start talking to God. So prayer don't have to be special. You can just talk like you talk to anybody. You can talk to God. Prayer don't like that. But I'm going to end this here so I can call somebody and before it gets too late and see how they're doing. Thank you for being here. Give it a thumbs up if you would. God bless you, and we'll see you in the next one.